All right, so we're diving deep into Genesis 26.
Verses 1 to 35.
That's right, focusing on the story of Isaac. You know, it's not just some, ancient tale.
Oh, definitely not.
It's got family drama, power struggles,
Yeah.
even some lessons about dealing with, difficult people, neighbors even.
And it's really striking. Isaac's story really mirrors his father Abraham's.
Yeah, there are a lot of parallels.
It makes you think about these patterns
Right.
repeating through generations.
Mm-hmm.
What we can learn from those who came before us.
It makes you wonder about family legacies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so to set the scene, there's a famine, the land is parched, and Isaac decides to head down to Gerar.
Ruled by King Abimelech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
A little bit, yeah.
His dad did the same thing back in Genesis 20.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes the family drama. Isaac tells everyone Rebekah is his sister.
Not his wife.
Like father, like son.
It really does make you think about this repeated deception. Was it a cultural thing?
Yeah.
A way to protect themselves in uncertain times? Or was there a deeper anxiety there?
It's a good question.
A flawed understanding of faith, maybe? These are questions that scholars have debated for centuries.
And the text describes Rebekah as beautiful to behold.
Oh, yeah.
So she's, not just some background character here.
Right.
But Abimelech, he figures it out.
He does.
Not through some divine intervention or anything,
Yep.
but by seeing Isaac and Rebekah interacting.
Can you imagine
I know.
the tension?
Awkward.
It reminds us that these stories are, filled with human emotions and choices.
Yeah.
God is at work, sure,
Of course.
but the characters are flawed,
Right.
complex,
They're relatable.
just like us.
Even thousands of years later.
Exactly.
And even with that initial deception, God still reaffirms his covenant with Isaac
promises blessings.
and descendants beyond measure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Isaac just prospers incredibly.
Like 100-fold harvest.
100-fold harvest. And, all that success, it stirs up envy
Oh, of course.
amongst the Philistines.
Yeah.
What do you make of this whole thing? I mean, the blessing, the wealth, the envy that comes after.
It makes you think about what blessing really means.
Yeah.
Right? Is it just material wealth, or is it something more than that?
Right.
Isaac's prosperity sets him apart, and that makes him a target.
Yeah.
People who resent his good fortune.
It's like blessings can sometimes come with a price.
Yeah, sometimes.
And speaking of price, things get even more tense when the Philistines decide to fill in the wells.
The wells dug by Abraham?
Yeah, talk about cutting off a vital resource.
Essential.
It feels like it's more than just a dispute over water.
Oh, for sure.
Mm.
Wells in this context represent so much more
They do.
their life,
Sustenance.
inheritance,
Right.
filling them in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of attacking Isaac's lineage, his connection to his forefathers,
It's symbolic.
erasing his presence, dominating.
But Isaac, he doesn't back down.
No,
He redigs the wells, reclaims what was rightfully his.
but it wasn't easy.
No.
Every well he digs,
Each one has a name.
a story.
Esek, Sitna, Rehoboth,
Quarrel, enmity, spaciousness.
escalating conflict, and then resolution.
Isaac's resilience,
Yeah.
determination,
Not just surviving.
thriving.
He doesn't turn to violence.
No.
Persistence.
Different kind of strength.
What do you think? Message for us today. It definitely makes you think about how we handle conflicts in our own lives.
It does.
But the story doesn't end there.
It keeps going.
Abimelech, seeing Isaac's resilience, his
Yeah.
growing power.
Decides he wants to make a peace treaty.
Right. What do you think? Is this genuine reconciliation?
It's a good question.
Or is it fear? Just a strategic power play?
It's open to interpretation.
Right.
Abimelech's motives, I mean.
Yeah.
Is it sincere?
Mm-hmm.
Or is he just trying to secure his own position? Isaac's influence is growing.
Yeah.
Fascinating glimpse into leadership and diplomacy.
Yeah.
Just as relevant today.
It makes you wonder, about the cost of peace
What it requires.
from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So the episode ends with a feast, an oath, a semblance of peace.
Powerful image.
This covenant born out of conflict,
Highlights the possibility of reconciliation.
even between those with a history of tension.
And it makes you wonder, is this peace going to last?
Right.
What lies ahead for Isaac?
And his descendants.
We'll explore this more as we continue to go deeper into Genesis 26.
That's next time.
Next time.
So we left off with Isaac and Abimelech making that peace treaty.
Right.
But as we know, peace
Doesn't always last.
doesn't always last forever.
Things seem like they're going pretty well, and then Isaac's servants find something.
What's that?
A well.
Okay.
But not just any well.
Right.
It's a well of running water.
In this landscape, water is
Everything.
essential, yeah.
This discovery, they name it Sheba.
Okay.
It becomes a source of, abundance.
Yeah.
A testament to Isaac's resilience.
Mm-hmm.
God's continued favor.
Okay.
And it even leads to a place being called Beersheba,
Which
the well of the oath,
Oh, interesting.
cementing that pact between Isaac and Abimelech.
Okay, so we've got peace, prosperity, fresh water.
Sounds like a happy ending.
Yeah, you'd think, right.
Not quite.
Not so fast.
Now we meet Isaac's sons.
Esau and Jacob.
Yes.
And these two are
like night and day.
totally different.
Esau, the elder twin,
Yeah.
outdoorsman, the hunter. Jacob's more introspective, drawn to home.
Yeah.
And their personalities,
Yeah.
they clash,
Yeah, they do.
setting the stage for a rivalry.
Oh, it's a big one.
It echoes through generations. And it's not just personality, right?
No.
Esau, impulsive,
Mm-hmm.
sells his birthright for a bowl of lentil stew.
I mean, come on.
Can you imagine?
A bowl of stew?
Talk about a bad deal.
That's rough.
But it's, this small act.
Yeah.
Huge implications.
Oh, yeah.
It shifts the line of inheritance.
Sets up a family feud for the ages.
It really highlights, I think, the weight of choices and
Yeah.
their consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Esau's impulsiveness, Jacob's cunning,
Right.
questions about inheritance.
Not just like possessions,
No.
but spiritual inheritance too.
Exactly.
And that whole complicated nature of
Sibling relationships.
sibling relationships, yeah.
Speaking of complicated,
Yeah.
Esau decides to marry outside the family line.
Okay.
He chooses Hittite wives.
And Isaac and Rebekah are not happy.
Happy at all.
They wanted their sons to marry within their own people.
Yeah, to preserve their
It's-
heritage. What do you make of Esau's choice and their reaction?
Well, it creates a clash, doesn't it? Underscores the importance of heritage within a family.
Yeah.
But it also, kind of foreshadows
What's coming?
conflict
Challenges of holding on to your identity.
when the world's always changing.
Exactly.
So we've gone from this fragile peace with Abimelech
Mm-hmm.
to this whole family drama brewing.
Esau and Jacob.
Poor Isaac.
But there's this thread of resilience,
Yeah.
God's
Like
faithfulness.
woven through it all.
What strikes me is that Genesis 26, while focusing on Isaac,
Yeah.
it's also laying the groundwork for the future.
Oh, how so?
We're seeing these seeds of conflict within the family,
Okay.
setting the stage for future trials and triumphs.
That'll shape the destiny of a nation.
It's all
The
connected.
famine, the deception, the wells,
The covenant with Abimelech.
rivalry between Esau and Jacob.
It's like these seemingly random events
Yeah.
are actually weaving together this tapestry
Of human experience
God's hand in it all.
and the impact of family legacies.
This deep dive into Genesis 26 has been quite a ride.
It has.
Unexpected twists, high stakes, deception, blessings, envy, generosity, conflict, attempts at peace.
That's so much
It's ancient and incredibly relevant.
to our lives today.
What resonates most with you?
For me, it's that interplay of divine providence and human choice.
Yeah.
God guides and blesses Isaac,
What?
but allows him to face challenges
To make choices.
that shape his life.
And those choices
Reveals so much about human nature
about consequences.
and the power of faith and resilience.
It's a mirror to our own lives in a way.
Isn't it?
We all have doubts.
We face temptations,
Deal with conflict.
but like Isaac,
We can choose to trust in something bigger than ourselves.
to draw strength from where we come from.
Keep going even when things are tough.
Now, we have to talk about that covenant Isaac made with Abimelech.
Right.
It has some serious implications for Isaac's descendants.
Especially Jacob.
What can you tell us about that?
It created this framework, for
Yeah.
peace and mutual respect.
Between
Isaac's people and the Philistines.
Right.
Testament to diplomacy, potential for a reconciliation, even when there's a history of conflict.
It's powerful.
And this agreement will have a lasting impact
On
Jacob's
Whoa.
journey,
Who interesting.
influence his interactions,
With the Philistines.
shape his understanding of his own heritage.
And speaking of Jacob,
Right.
his story takes center stage now.
It does.
He's a complex character,
That's for sure.
known for his cunning.
Ambition.
Remember how he tricked Esau
Out of his birthright?
for that bowl of stew?
That was just the beginning of his
Came.
elaborate schemes.
What can you tell us about him?
Jacob's story.
Yeah,
Full of twists and turns.
it really is.
Deception, reconciliation,
Ultimately,
of divine favor.
it's a reminder that even those who make mistakes,
Who take, unconventional paths,
right?
they can still be part of God's plan.
Yeah.
His life shows us
What?
that our past doesn't define us.
Mhm.
Redemption is always possible.
And his journey is so intertwined with that covenant Isaac made.
It really is.
Highlights those intergenerational relationships, right?
Yeah.
How our choices can have consequences,
That ripple through time.
impacting future generations.
It makes you think
It does.
about the covenants we carry.
Spoken or unspoken.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how Genesis 26, while it focuses on Isaac,
Yeah.
really sets the stage for Jacob's journey.
It's like a prologue,
Yeah.
introducing these themes and relationships that we'll see
Explored in greater depth.
in the chapters to come.
Isaac's life, his struggles, his triumphs.
It all serves as a foundation
for the next generation.
It's all connected, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The famine, the deception,
Those wells,
the covenant with Abimelech,
the rivalry between Esau and Jacob,
creating this rich tapestry,
human experience, divine intervention.
the power of family legacies.
This deep dive has been a journey,
It has.
exploring those ancient lives
Those are timeless themes.
that still resonate with us today.
Deception and reconciliation.
Envy and generosity,
Conflict and cooperation.
the power of covenants,
The impact of choices.
paid generations
And as we, kind of resurface from this exploration,
of Genesis 26,
yeah,
we're left with
this sense,
of the interconnectedness of it all,
the power of faith,
the legacy of those who came before us.
leaves us with a lot to think about.
It does.
What will you take away from this journey?
For me, it's that reminder that even when things are tough,
Yeah,
there's always that hope
for reconciliation.
and redemption,
It's a call to examine our own choices
and to consider their impact,
on others
to live lives that honor those covenants
and legacies.
entrusted to us.
Beautifully said.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Genesis 26,
Yeah.
let's carry these insights with us
Be mindful of the covenants we make,
to choices we face.
the impact we have on those around us,
Because in the end, our stories are all connected
weaving together this tapestry
of human experience
spans generations.
and echoes through time,